All right, we are live. This is Monday Night Football, Game 2 of the season, our third premium national audience big game of the year. I had to go deep into my closet to get this jersey out. This is the orange Courtney Brown.
Wow.
Yeah, this is going deep for this game tonight. But, all right, guys, just tweeted out. We're live. I am joined by my father, Brownie, at Brownie Post _ Dan. Dad, how's it going, and how excited are you for Monday Night Football?
I am really pumped. This is as big a game as last week, if not bigger. We're playing against a quality team. We are going to test San Francisco like they haven't been tested so far in terms of their 3-0 record. So I am pumped. I'm really excited. National audience.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope our guys, if the one thing starting out is get off to a good start. Let's get off to a good start, and if let the chips fall where they may. There were a lot of crazy games yesterday. A lot of teams, they lost players, they got penalties, they played terrible, they had turnovers, they lost with 2 seconds to go in the game. Teams came back and tied it, and then lost, or they won in overtime. I mean, it was just a crazy, including the Monday night game with the Colts upsetting Kansas City. So that they brought them back to earth. Holmes is he's a factor. I mean, it's just like Seattle with Russell Wilson. They go according to their quarterback. And to us to agree, we need Baker to do well, but the Patriots are the team to beat. If we can go 2-0 here before the break, we are going to put some serious pressure on the Patriots going up against Belichick in their home stadium, which everybody probably picks us to lose. So we can play a little bit looser. And we'll have a lot of momentum. So today is
absolutely
a big game.
Yeah, we just got word in chat that it doesn't look like Higgins is going tonight. Jason Stopar says Higgins is out tonight, so that could be bad. Kyle Lou says Antonio's back. That's going to help. Dad, you and I talked a little bit earlier about the impact potentially of Antonio Callaway, and right. I think there's a couple of things with Antonio. He's going to have to earn his way back into the good graces of not just the team and the coaches and the front office, but also with the fans. I think Antonio is a guy who we've known was a bit of a knucklehead for a while, and he keeps making those silly young. I'm a young 20s, early 20s guy with a little bit of money mistakes. Right. And so I think that, and as we know, Jarvis, after coming out of concussion protocol, I would be shocked if he's back there returning punts.
Right.
So
you got to protect him. You got to protect him.
Absolutely.
You need him for the long haul. You don't need him for just one crazy play where somebody gets a free shot at him. So you're right. I think Callaway should do the trick. He's got the talent. And if worst case, you put somebody else, you put Taylor back there, you put Hilliard back there, somebody who can catch the ball, has got some hands.
I'd prefer it being a wide receiver. I'd prefer it be somebody. I'd rather it not be a running back. But I mean, honestly, it is as long as it's not Landry. If it's Callaway, I'm totally okay with it. I think Callaway is somebody who he doesn't have the best hands in the world, but he's not a running back, so he should be able to catch a little bit better. And he's got something to prove, as you were saying.
How much fun would it have been if we had Giuseppe back there?
Oh God, I mean,
that would be fun.
Well, it was funny because I hope he gets picked up by the XFL. The draft coming up.
Sure, I think that's going to be Manziel's
what a great story.
Day. I read that they're assigning a quarterback to each team. So.
And there's a team is there a team in Texas? There is, right?
Oh yeah. But that guy didn't want him. I don't know if that was June Jones, or one of the guy Johnson. can't remember who the coach is there, but he
Would he
said
rather have Landry Jones than Johnny Manziel?
I guess he's
Jesus.
not. He said he wasn't going after Manziel, so I don't see him going to Texas with that coach based on those comments. But I see him getting assigned. But again, quarterbacks are going down yesterday too, and
God, if he got picked up by the Steelers, oh my God, that would be the worst. That would honestly. God, guys, so let's talk about some of the giveaways. All right, so we've got the Browns rain. This is the Browns officially licensed rain poncho that we're going to be doing on the Brownie post game show, not pre-game. Brownie post game. We've got a little Browns keychain with the state of Ohio on there, and then probably the big one. This is the official NFL.com Cleveland Browns license plate license plate frame. So we got a whole bunch of giveaways. I'll tell you this, guys. If we win the game tonight, all 3 of the giveaways are going out tonight. But if not, we're definitely going to do at least one giveaway. So make sure that everybody who's here right now, all the viewers, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're getting really close to 3,000 subscribers. It's really close. I mean, we got about 100 subscribers left to get that. So definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you know when we go live. We go live before and after every Browns game. We also do stuff during the week. We do a post game show, usually on Mondays. Probably do one tomorrow, depending upon what happens in the game today. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Help us out with that. Also, go to homage.com and buy some stuff. Use promo code Brownie. Save yourself a little bit of money there too. Those guys really help us out. Give us a lot of really cool stuff. So.
Let me ask a question too that I asked you earlier today.
Yeah.
To the group that's out there, and somebody please respond through chat. I had heard that when Landry went out last week, it was the call made from New York that sent him out and sent him to the tent.
Right.
And I never heard anything more on that. I think Landry said he wasn't that hurt and he was ready to go back. I think after a quick review, and I think that's why he was so quick to get cleared.
Yeah.
But how much power does New York have to call a concussion or a protocol from all the way in New York versus being right there on the field?
Yeah, if anybody in chat knows the answer to that, that'd be a really good one to know. I don't know the answer to it, and I haven't looked it up. I didn't know that New York had the ability to pull a player off the field. Right. That surprises me. And why they wouldn't have like a neurologist? I'm sure the teams have to have a neurologist. They have to be protected like that. So, and my God,
the hit that
Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph.
Oh my God,
it was vicious, and you gotta hope that he's okay.
Yeah.
They made him walk off the field because the cart.
That honestly, so I thought about. I tweeted out yesterday because I watched it happen. I watched the hit happen. I was sitting there with my daughter in the media room watching the game, and I saw that, and I was physically nauseated by seeing him go down like that, and then to see, and I don't know if the player at that point should not have the ability to wave off the cart, and they should have, if nothing else, they should have put him on the cart and carried him off the field like they used to do in the 70s. Right. You don't make he didn't know what country he was in. He didn't know his own name. He was walking around like just complete, he had no idea what happened to him.
Yeah, when he was talking and everything, and I guess he was making some sense, but when you don't have your legs underneath you, and you're being helped by 2 guys on either side, big linemen, and they switched off and gave it to the trainers and whatnot. But they made him walk all the way off the field through the tunnel, and then they took him
honestly, I'm upset that happened to him. I think, and they asked Tomlin about that, and he's like, "Look, I don't deal with that kind of stuff. That's the facilities operations guys. I don't make those calls." But my God, like if that happened to one of our players, I'd be throwing bottles at the training staff or whoever made the decision to literally walk that guy. I felt like he was out for a minimum of 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I think that's ridiculous.
For a long time. He was out for a long time. So let's hope none of our guys go down. There were players who got lost to their teams yesterday.
Yeah.
Washington, the wide receiver for Pittsburgh, went down. He's gone. ACL for the season. So Mahomes got hurt last night.
Do we know if D Ford is playing?
Don't know.
I don't know if D Ford is activated yet. I mean, it might be game time decision. We have what, another 45 minutes before the game. It's like 8:15 start, something like that.
Yeah, right. 8:15.
So D Ford might if he doesn't go, that's huge. That's big for us too. I mean, he's by far the best defensive player, an older guy, but still a good defensive player.
Well, I hope we get off to a good start. I hope we take the field with the defense, win the toss, and we defer.
Yeah, please, please, can we not take the ball?
Right.
Just defer to the second half. But and here's another question. I don't know if you say we're going to take the ball, did they get to decide then what side of the field they want to defend?
Yeah.
So then they can say, fourth quarter, we want to be defending this way or this, whatever, right?
Yeah, they had the wind. They had the wind when I thought we would have the wind in Baltimore. And as I told you earlier today,
yeah,
the Siebert was kicking from 50 yards into the wind pregame. So I think they felt pretty comfortable. The wind was slight.
He's got the leg. He's got the leg, but who knows what could happen? I mean, I was watching when I was making that last video, the God's Country video, the hype video, and if you guys haven't watched that yet, everybody in chat, take a look at the God's Country video that I made that just went live on Saturday. Sunday. It went live yesterday. So, but I was looking up kicks from Gillum, the punter, and he's got some videos on YouTube where kicking 70-yard field goals in practice. Ooh. 70 yards. I was liking that. I was like, if the ball is on, so we would, a 70-yard field goal would be us kicking it. The ball would be placed on our own 40-yard line. Kicking them off.
Like a kickoff, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But I mean, hopefully we don't have to do that.
I watched
thanks, General Pat. I appreciate that.
I watched
Courtney Brown.
Bengals game against the Cardinals because I had it on, DirecTV and the ticket, and so I taped a couple of the games. I wanted to see how the Cincinnati was playing. I thought maybe they'd get off the schneid against the Cardinals. A couple observations. It was a terrible game. I mean, they both played like they wanted to give the game away as opposed to win the game outright.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals got out to a lead. They had them down by 2 touchdowns with 8 minutes to go. And in the process, I think both teams missed easy field goals. One of them missed an extra point. So it was an ugly type of game. And then Dalton got hot a little bit. They came down, they scored. They got the ball back. They came down again and scored. They tied the game up with 2 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Murray made a couple of nice plays, including runs. They got him well inside of field goal territory, and they kicked the winning field goal with two seconds to go.
Well, I was just looking at that the Bengals schedule, and it looks like the second to last game of the season they play the Dolphins. So that's going to be the battle for who's going to go 0-16. We also have got the Redskins, who have a very good chance of going 0-16.
Yeah, they fired their coach today.
The Jets will probably beat the Dolphins, so the Jets probably won't go 0-6. Well, they can't. So somebody's
they're going to get Dalton back, or Darnold back. Yeah, probably next week. I think he's ready to go. I don't know when their bye is, but so I think he's going to be back. They'll win a couple of games, but clearly Miami's got nothing, and the Bengals, even with Dalton, they lost another guy. Their secondary is very weak, so that's good for us down the road.
Yeah, I think the Bengals games are automatic wins.
Yeah.
The Bengals are the Dolphins game.
Don't get too cocky. That's all.
Yeah, I mean it's like any given Sunday. I mean we could end up losing games. Let's talk about San Francisco because we've been talking here for a while. Let's talk about San Francisco. I was thinking about this as well, and I think our key to this game is establishing and is building upon what we did in Baltimore and establish that run and open up some big plays. Not try to shoot for the moon, not try to throw, throw it to Odell, throw bombs to him early, not try to do stuff like that. Just establish that run and let the most dominant running back currently in the NFL, not named McCaffrey, let him do his thing and just tear up San Francisco. I think their defense is okay. I don't think their defense is elite. And I think our defense is gonna light it up. I don't think Garoppolo has seen anything like us. Definitely not this year. He hasn't seen a defense like us. So
yeah, if we can get to him early, if we can put pressure on him early, fluster him a little bit, hit him once or twice, knock him down without a penalty, get off the field. They're a 50% third down team through their first 3 games. So against weak opponents. So it's not to say they can't light it up. I mean, when Garoppolo is on, he's on. I mean, he can light it up. So we got to hope that he's mediocre, and really as a result of us putting pressure on him, that he makes some mistakes, and that we get to him. We minimize our penalties, and no stupid penalties. Everybody's going to have penalties, but no stupid penalties. They had one, I think it was in the Cincinnati game. They had the game, the Cardinals had the game in hand, and the guy, and they intercepted, I think, too, on the play. And one of the linemen headbutts the quarterback and knocks him to the ground after he released the ball. So they get the ball back. They get a 15-yard penalty. I mean, it's plays like that. For these professionals, you got to think they just get too hung up in the moment, and they got to play with some patience. They got to play with level-headedness, and hopefully Kitchens did a good job of instilling that. I would love to know how many of our players are watching those games and see those stupid penalties and think to themselves, I'm not going to do that. I can't believe that guy did that. Yeah. I am not going to do that. And especially if you're a guy trying to win a place on the team, you certainly don't want to have that as far as your background. So
here's some some things that are pretty interesting that I'm seeing about the San Francisco defense. Per Yahoo Fantasy, San Francisco gives up the 16th fewest points to wide receivers. I'm sorry, 15th to wide receivers. So they do that. I have Cleveland's defense, and their defense their team gives up the 16th fewest fantasy points. So like wide receiver and defense, the same thing. The interesting thing that we have with San Francisco's defense is they give up the fewest amount of points currently in the NFL to running backs. So it is critical that we allow them, or the Browns, get going on the ground and get going early and get some points. But if you look at what San Francisco's done so far, let me look at 49ers' schedule just so I make sure I know what I'm talking about here. But if you look at who they've faced from running back position, you're looking at Connor, you're looking at Mixon, and the Buccaneers. They technically have running backs on the Buccaneers, but they basically do nothing with Barber and that other guy who's in everybody's bench on everybody's fantasy team. But so they really haven't seen a solid running back yet. Looking at what they did, Connor only rushed for 43 yards on 13 attempts. Mixon got 17 yards on 11 carries in that 41-17 beating. And then the Buccaneers got 75 yards from Ronald Jones. He was the guy I was talking about who nobody has on their fantasy team. So right now, Ronald Jones II with 75 yards is the leader against the San Francisco defense.
Mike, did you see the chat from Max Nicoleco?
Yep, he got the raffle gift.
Yeah, he's going to give it to his 4-year-old and tell him the story about Bernie Kosar.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, hold on to that. That's probably a good one. I got another one. I don't know if people will get as excited about this one. If I can get it off one of my cords over here. I've got another one that we're going to do sometime later on. This is the 1999 Tim Couch. I'm sorry, the green screen's eating this up. It's all green where it's black here, but the 1999 Tim Couch is going to go at some point this year as well. Probably not as exciting as the Bernie Kosar one. I really wanted to kind of keep that Bernie Kosar one. I was really excited about that.
Yeah, that one I saw on the internet and grabbed it right away.
I got my little Eric Metcalf here. This guy sits on my with the removable helmet, which you always lose the helmet once you unbox these as kids.
You still got the Manziel bobblehead too, don't you?
Yes, I don't know where that is though. It was on my in my last office job 3 years ago. It was on my desk, and it's in a box somewhere. It's not really a point to pull that out. You gotta
start lining them up like Dan Patrick does on his show. He's got all the bobbleheads and the helmets and pictures of guys in front of him, and
Man, I'll take some firecrackers to the Johnny Manziel one.
Go back to the 49ers and us. I think we gotta get the ball to our playmakers. We gotta get the running game going. Like I said before, we gotta play smart. We gotta have a good game plan. We can't give up big plays, and we haven't.
Right.
So, we haven't given up a Nick Chubb 88-yard run.
Well, the Derrick Henry one was a big play, but there was a penalty on that wasn't called. I will go to my grave knowing that there was a penalty on that was not called.
Right. Considering they called it on us in the same game,
clearly in
the first quarter.
Yeah.
So
I think we have gotten much better in the penalty game.
Right.
Other than that first game, which was an absolute tragedy. We haven't had horrible penalties go against us.
It was a good humbling experience. Ended the hype.
Right.
It got people to come back to reality. Say, hey, we got to play. If we don't show up, we're going to get beat.
Yep.
And I think if we get good field position and we minimize or we're positive on the turnovers, if we do all those things, I think we're looking at maybe a 35-14 win.
35-14. I'm gonna call 28-21.
Wow.
It's gonna be the victory for us today. I think it's gonna be all touchdowns, no field goals, which is I probably should throw a field goal in there, but let's go 28-21 Browns, all touchdowns. It's gonna be a scoring game. We're gonna get up early. We're gonna stay early, and they're gonna score a touchdown in the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, and that's how they get their 21. And we're going to go up 21-0 before they score their first touchdown. So we're going to go up. We're going to get real. We're going to beat them down hard. Go up 21-0. Then we're going to score another one in the fourth quarter to go up 28-14. They're going to score a garbage time touchdown at the end. That's how we win the game. That's what I predict.
I'm in a pick'em league. We throw in $250 for the season, and we get the winner for the week, because we have like 77 guys that are in this. The winner for the week gets $650.
Ooh.
And the winner for the season gets somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000.
How you doing? How are you doing so far in the season?
Probably 3 or 4 off the lead cumulatively.
Okay.
The Browns hurt me the first week. They hurt me against the Colts because I'm picking them every week.
Right.
And I got them tonight. But the tiebreaker is tonight's game for the league, and I think we got 7 or 8 guys that have 10 wins. So their first decision is, do I take the Browns or do I take San Francisco?
Right.
And the second one, considering some are going to take each, so you're going to get into another tiebreaker, and that's the score of the game, how close you are to the actual score of the game. So I'm interested to see how many take the Browns and what their predictions are as far as the game. There was one guy who was 1 behind. He was at 9, and everybody else was at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And last 3 games yesterday were all upsets. The Packers beat the Cowboys, so everybody lost on that.
Beat them badly too. They came back and they got some garbage points at the end. But I was watching that game. The Cowboys got smacked.
Denver got put a shellacking on the Chargers, and nobody had Denver because they hadn't had a win.
Yeah, they're 0 whatever.
And then you go into the late game, and everybody, the 77 people, I think 75 of them took the Chiefs, and one guy who was at 9 victories needed to catch up to the guys at 10, so he took the Colts, and he won, obviously. So now he's in that mix of 10 guys or 8 guys that have 10 victories.
Yep.
And he picks. He does well in the game between picking who's going to win first and then a score. He could come from behind and take it right away from all these guys. And so it was a good pick, but he went out on a limb and he picked it right, and hopefully he'll get rewarded for it.
Well, I was looking at the 49ers roster. I know like 4 guys on their whole team: Garoppolo, old Richard Sherman, Nick Bosa, rookie, and D Ford. I don't really know anybody else on their damn team.
Staley, the lineman, I think it's Staley or Stacy. Can't remember. All pro guy. He may not be playing anymore.
Quan Alexander, I've heard that name before. I don't know too much. I don't watch NFC football, so I don't watch California football, and I typically don't watch NFC football, so I don't really know a whole lot about this team. I hope that the Browns do. And then I'm actually more worried about what this is going to do to us coming off the short week with Seattle coming into town next week. I'm more worried about that game than I am this.
Yeah, I'm worried about it really from the standpoint of how we contain Wilson, because he's almost a one-man team. If you can contain him,
he's so good. He's so accurate too. He's got the accuracy of, he reminds me a lot of as old Steve Young. He's Steve Young 2.0.
Yeah, he's a lot more mobile probably. I mean, he gets out of the pocket. He can throw on the run, or he can run and make big plays, and that's the scary thing about him. So if you put somebody who's going to spy on him, who's, like Schobert, and just assign him so that he doesn't get
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think that we went out and drafted 2 young athletic linebackers with Taki and Mac Wilson to go along with Schobert, because we need to be able to run down quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray later in the season, and then Lamar twice. Jackson twice. We got to get him. So we had to go do that.
He made some big plays against the Steelers. He made guys miss when he was short of the first down and got the first down. So he had a halfway decent game. And they ran the ball pretty well against the Steelers. I don't know what the stats were, but they opened up some holes, which proves that the Steelers can be run on. Yeah,
in chat they're talking about Kittle's the tight end. I think Kittle's is probably their best offensive weapon. I forgot about him. So he's going to be one guy that we're going to have to contain. But now with Greedy Williams again is out, and Denzel Ward again with this pandemic of this hamstring injury. It's like the old staph infections that we used to give all of our players back in the early to mid 2000s. Right. We're just getting struck with the hamstring bug. But as you were mentioning, it looks like, do you think that if they don't play this week, will they play against Seattle, or do we give them the Seattle game as well and the bye and then bring them back for at New England?
Yeah, I think I heard that talked about today, especially if our guys play well today, so that there's no emergency, there's no need to bring them back too early. It gives them another 2 weeks, plus this week that's 3 weeks. So how great would it be to have both of them come back against the Patriots, and now they'll be a little rusty, but they'll certainly be energized and healthy, hopefully. Otherwise, you're on the bench and you play with your guys that you got.
Well, I mean, Money Mitch has been really good. We've just been playing well. We've got that veteran presence there in our defensive back. So I feel okay currently in the passing game. So I don't think Garoppolo is going to eat us up tonight. I think Garoppolo's biggest problem is our defensive line is really good. And I And what they did to Myles Garrett last week, double and triple teaming him, and then just running away from him. Lamar really didn't get anywhere near Lamar last game. But it opened up. Olivier Vernon got in there a couple times. Demaryius got in there. So if we can, Garoppolo is more. He's got a little bit of speed. He's got some mobility, but he's definitely not a Lamar Jackson. So if we can get to him, and if Myles Garrett can put some pressure on him and get him moving, I think that he's still a young quarterback. He doesn't have a ton of experience. We've got a good team that creates turnovers. I think if I am San Francisco, I'd be putting a lot of special attention on Myles Garrett to make sure that he doesn't get to the quarterback, because that's not only can you get to the quarterback if you're Myles Garrett, you can hurt the quarterback with Myles, as we've seen already. So if it's almost like just the safety of the whole organization is just keeping him blocked. But I think Myles has a good game. I'll expect a lot more from Myles. I think Odell's going to have a big game as well. Odell loves these primetime games. Odell's going to play well today. Jarvis is going to end up with 5 or 6 catches. I don't think he's going to do 165 yards like he did last week, but I think he's going to do 5 or 6. He might get a touchdown. I expect a touchdown out of Odell. I expect 2 touchdowns out of Nick Chubb. And that's how we get it. That's how we get our 28 points.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. All right, guys. It looks like we got about 25 minutes till we go. Everybody in chat, let me know. Let's do some predictions right now, and I'm going to write these predictions down for the scores. Everybody get out there, and whoever gets the closest, you get one. You only get one. So Kyle, don't put a ton of numbers in there. You get one number. Give me don't the score of the game. I want to know how many points you think the Cleveland Browns will score today. Closest gets the keychain. So right now, everybody in chat, we got 45 people out there. If you want to have a chance to win the keychain, just tell me what you think the score of the Browns will get tonight. Go ahead and throw it in there. Other than that, this is great. I got the media room pumping right now. I'm going to be watching it on the big screen, guys. I bought a projector this year because I have a special room. I've got my own man cave where I watch these games. So I got the projector going. So it's a 135-inch projector. It's going to be rocking and rolling, and I am super, super excited about this. All right, we got our first numbers coming in. So Alex is calling 31. Make Ohio great again. Browns 31. Brian says 36. T-Money 33. It looks like we're probably on about a good 30-second delay.
Yeah.
At least a 30-second delay. So I'm going to let these come in, and I'm going to copy all of these and put them into a little document afterwards to see who comes closest to it. We got 51 people concurrently viewing right now, so thank you everybody for watching the pregame show. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications so you know when we go live, and you know when you get all my cool Browns videos that I've been pumping out, all the hype videos going on. Also, if you don't mind, give us a like, leave a comment on the stream as well, just because it helps with the YouTube's algorithm. So engage as much as possible. I appreciate all the chats. I appreciate the views and the likes and everything like that. And definitely subscribe to the channel. Okay. I just sit 3 feet away from my 72-inch TV. I love that. You got to adapt, overcome, improvise. All right.
All right.
Yes.
I'm out of here, Mike. And I'm going to go down and get comfortable with my 55-inch TV. But I will be with you, throughout the game. We'll be chatting back and forth on our phones. And
follow us on Twitter as well. You got the names up there at Mike Killey, at Brownie Post _Dan. Follow us on Twitter and communicate with us live during the game. I'm going to be giving you all my feelings of it as we go, and Dad, you and I will be talking as well. And then join us here right after the game is over. We will be back. It'll probably be like, I don't know,
11:30,
maybe even later, because the game's 8:15 start. It usually takes 3 hours for a game to go.
Yeah.
Could be close to midnight.
Right.
So closer to midnight Eastern. If anybody's out there in the other time zones, it'll be a little bit easier for you. But we'll be back, and we're doing the giveaways. Go Browns! We're winning the game today, and we'll see you then.
Go Brownies! Bye bye.